It's very, very dangerous to lose contact with living nature. I was completely astonished by the beauty of nature. Our eyes see just a small fraction of the light in the world. It is a trick to make a colored world, which does not exist outside of human beings. By observing natural scientific discoveries through a perception deepened by meditation, we can develop a new awareness of reality. This awareness could become the bedrock of spirituality that is not based on the dogmas of the given religion, but on insights into a higher and deeper meaning. I am referring to the ability to recognize, to read, to spit, to speak, and to understand the first-hand revelations. I know LSD. I don't need to take it anymore. Maybe when I die, uh, outside is pure energy and colorless substance. All of the rest happens through the mechanism of our senses. Our eyes see just a small fraction of the light in the world. It is a trick to make a colored world which does not exist outside human beings. I suddenly became strangely and inebriated. The external world became changed as in a dream. Objects appeared to gain in relief. They assumed unusual dimensions, and colors became more glowing. Even self-perception and the sense of time were changed. And when the eyes were closed, colored pictures flashed past in a quickly changing kaleidoscope. After a few hours pleasant and inebriation, which had been experienced whilst I was fully conscious, disappeared. What had caused this condition? It gave me an inner joy, an open-mindedness, a gratefulness, open eyes, and an internal sensitivity for the miracles of creation. I think that in human evolution, it has never been as necessary to have the substance LSD. It is just a tool to turn us into what we are supposed to be. It was obvious that a substance with such fantastic effects on mental perception and on the experience of the outer and inner world would also arouse interest outside medical science. But I had not expected the LSD, with its unfathomably uncanny, profound effects, so unlike the character of a recreational drug, would ever find worldwide use as an inebriate. I had expected curiosity and interest on the part of artists outside of medicine, performers, painters, and writers, but not among people in general. After the scientific publications around the turn of the century of mescaline, which, as already mentioned, evokes psychic effects quite like those of LSD. The use of this compound remained confined to medicine and to experiments within artistic and literacy circles. I had expected the same fate for LSD, and indeed the first non-medicinal self-experiments with LSD were carried out by writers, painters, musicians, and other intellectuals. The rapid rise of drug use, which had its beginning in this country about 20 years ago, was not, however, a consequence of the discovery of LSD, as superficial observers often declared. Rather, it had deep-seated sociological causes of materialism, alienation from nature through industrialization and increasing urbanization, a lack of satisfaction in professional employment, and a mechanized, lifeless working world, a new and purposelessness, a wealthy, a saturated society, and lack of a religious, nurturing, and meaningful psycho-philosophical foundation of life. The danger of LSD lies not in its toxicity, but rather in the unpredictability of its psychic effects. Sensible, object objective reality, the worldview produced by the spirit of scientific inquiry, is the myth of our time. Above all, for Western people with their hypertrophied irrationality, the development and expansion of a direct emotional experiment and experience of reality, unobstructed by words and concepts, would be of evolutionary significance. Hallucinogenic drugs now formed a circle, one could almost say a magic circle. The starting point had been the synthesis of lysergic acid amidst among them the naturally occurring ergot alkaloid ergobenzene. This led to the synthesis of lysergic acid, a diet diethylamide, LSD. The hallucinogenic properties of LSD were the reason why hallucinogenic magic mushroom, Teonanacatal, found its way into my laboratory. The work of from which and thistleine were isolated proceeded to the investigation of another Mexican magic drug in which hallucinogenic principles in the form of acid amidst were again encountered, including ergobenzene, with which the magic circle closed. How should we judge the conduct of Maria Sabina? The fact that she allowed strangers, white people, access to secret ceremony and let them try the sacred mushroom. LSD trips and the space flights of the astronauts are comparable in many respects, but both enterprises require very careful preparations as far as measures for safety as well as objectives are concerned in order to minimize dangers and to derive the most valuable results possible. The astronauts cannot remain in space, nor the LSD experiments in transcendental spheres. They have to return transcendental spheres. They have to return to Earth and everyday reality, where the newly acquired experiences must be evaluated. Experience of the world as matter, as object to which a man stands opposed, has produced a modern natural science and technology, creations of the Western mind that have changed the world. With their help, human beings have subdued the world. Its wealth has been exploited in a manner that may be characterized as plundering, and the sublime accomplishment of technological civilization. The comfort of Western industrial society stands face to face with a catastrophic destruction of the environment, even to the heart of matter, to the nucleus of the atom, and it's split, and this objective intelligence has progress and has unleashed energies that threaten all life on our planet. The high sentences, 10 years imprisonment, each for convictions in Texas and California concerning possession of LSD and marijuana, and conviction later overturned with a sentence of 30 years imprisonment for marijuana smuggling, show that the punishment of these offenses was only a pretext. The real aim was to pull under lock and key the seducer and the instigator of youth who could not otherwise be prosecuted. The fundamental importance for the recovery of people in Western industrial societies who are sickened by a one-sided, rational, materialistic worldview is today given primary emphasis, and not only by adherents to Eastern religious movements like Zen Buddhism, but also by leading representatives of academic psychiatry. The fundamental importance for the recovery of people in Western industrial societies who are sickened by a one-sided, rational, materialistic worldview is today given primary emphasis, and not only by adherent to Eastern religious movements like Zen Buddhism, and but also by leading representative of academic psychiatry, wrapping the facts of acid for eternity. Yeah, when I said drugs were brought here 20 years ago, I was speaking from the mentality of being back in the 60s, popping acid, to clarify